Hi, fellow pilgrims. I first came across the Iona Community as a schoolgirl, non-church person, and went to Iona as a schoolgirl to join the then Iona youth groups. However, I eventually became an Iona member, and at the same time as joining the Catholic Church about 45 years ago. And it's really inspired and challenged my ecumenical journey, working out my commitments to justice and peace, where I found myself living in the margins, as they say, of the East End of Glasgow. Whilst being severely disabled myself, I live alongside folk with disabilities, asylum seekers, refugees, and folk in poverty of all kinds. I have learned from my need to be accountable to fellow members for my resources and time, to share my basic benefit income, and to make myself available to stand, or as in my case, sit in my wheelchair with others in their need, to encourage and support them on their individual and often traumatic journeys, and help build a sense of community where folk of all faiths can find and none can find ourselves. I work voluntarily by invitation and can find myself accompanying asylum seekers through their often horrific processes in order to achieve refugee status. I share in very basic activities like driving them to the various legal, medical, educational appointments, witnessing, and trying to ensure they get fair and just treatment. I share their meager rations in return, embarrassingly sometimes, whilst listening and often weeping with them as they share their stories. What can I do sometimes when a 9-year-old African girl and her mum get detained, and my efforts to support them result in me being threatened with 13 years in jail by our government departments? What do I say when a 7-year-old African boy asks why other children and adults call him a black bastard? Knowing other members are maybe doing likewise really helps. And often all I can do is be there, doing my bit. And by joining the food bank queue to share between several families, gather and recycling clothes and household goods, take children on social outings to integrate and ease their trauma, and maybe above all, link with my local Church of Scotland, participate in my local Catholic church, and at home light a candle, often requested by Muslim families as a prayer request, and ask our God to show us new ways to build a fairer and just world.